Good evening, everyone. It's Mark Wilkinson here. I hope you're good. It's time for another Straight Talking. We do these on the last Wednesday of every month. We bring in a fantastic guest, a celebrity guest. We bring people in that are doing something positive in the world and are offering a little bit more, a little bit extra motivation, a little bit something that really uplifts people and gets people going. And tonight is absolutely no exception. His real name is Frank Sinclair. He is obviously not the large, tough, black right back that used to play for Chelsea Football Club called Frank Sinclair, as you'll get to meet in just a few moments. But he's a top man. He started a business, a life called Fit with Frank. I'm going to ask him a lot more about that as we go through it. He's genuinely fun, positive. He's got loads of energy, loads of motivation. And he uses laughter in a fantastic way to motivate, to get people involved in some fitness. I first discovered him in lockdown. During lockdown, he was going live and doing a lot of interesting things, which I'm going to ask him about. And he really, helped Emma and me, and we were doing some fitness stuff at home. It was really cool. So without further ado, let's bring in Frank, Fit with Frank. Hi, Frank.
Let's really disappoint people as I pop on the screen. Where's you sign me up for Frank Sinclair, the Chelsea legend?
The Chelsea
legend. This weasel character.
Who's this geezer? Yeah, look, I mean, as I said, Frank, look, it's wonderful to have you here, and I really do appreciate your time, particularly as Manchester United, you're a Manchester United fan. They've just kicked off against Villarreal. And I also have Juve versus Chelsea just over here. So if anyone hears me shout or Frank shout at any given moment, it might be possible that someone has scored a goal. So prepare
they might
yourself.
Just come for live football updates. Of course, they can get 2 games there. Maybe put some commentary in there.
We could do a bit of live commentary. Yes. We could do this every Wednesday. So a couple of people just jumping on, and I told you I could put messages there. So Jason Thornton's just saying good evening, gentlemen. And the good lady says with Frankie the puppy, who you met there. Frankie the puppy,
what a guy.
Who you met in Cobham. Yeah, what a dude.
I like to think he's watching now. Come on, Frankie.
Of course he is. He's stuck to the screen going, I know him. But thank you so much for my lockdown workouts. Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to talk a bit about that, of course, and everything that you do, Frank, because, you've got into, well, I want to say you've got into health and fitness, but I mean, you've been around health and fitness for quite some time. I mean, you've got a bit of a history, how and why did you get into it? And give me a little bit of background.
I fell into it, to be honest with you, Mark. I fell into it. I did like my football at school. Like I was into football, but then did the classic when you leave school. I found beer. I found other things, gave that up. I was quite lazy. And the wife refers to it as my chubby times. Like I was I would look different. I had curtains, when they were cool.
When they were cool.
I'm hoping they're coming back now. But remember when everyone had them? Everyone. If you didn't have curtains, you were no one.
I do.
They're due a resurgence. I'm growing it again. And then I decided not to go to uni because I didn't know what I was going to do. Just didn't have a direction. And then landed a job at a leisure centre, mate. And this is how I fell into it. I think I was just doing like lifeguarding and kids' parties and stuff because I've always been like a bit of a, loopy, whatever you want to call it. I've always had energy about me. And they were like, you'd be good at doing a kids' party or go and run around the pool and tell people to stop running. That you could do that, Frank. And then they were like, do you know what? You'd be good in the gym. I was like, okay, never used one, but I'll get in there. And that was, I don't know, maybe I was 15, 16, maybe 17 years ago. And I loved it. I loved it because what I liked about the gym was, which I didn't know until I got in there, was all the people in there seemed to be really positive. They were always motivational people. And now I've reflected on it and I'm aware that usually is the case because people that choose to go somewhere like that are choosing to better themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's just you went in every day and it didn't feel like a job to me. It was fun. Yeah. And I still, to be honest, I still hold on to that same vibe now, or try to.
Well, no, you absolutely do. You absolutely do. A couple more messages coming in. Lindsay saying, hi, Frank, you're a top guy.
Go on, Lindsay.
And John, good friend of mine, John, on LinkedIn there. Good friend and colleague of mine, John, gave me a lovely review of Life Remix, just saying evening all. Hi, John. Great to have you here, mate. Yeah, I mean, your energy comes through. I mean, what's your Instagram handle? What is it? I can't remember.
I'm so simple. Everything's Fit with Frank.
Everything. So it's
across
just
the board. Yeah.
It's just at Fit with Frank everywhere, right?
And
so,
look, I honestly came up with the name in about 5 minutes, and I've stuck with it. They said, I think someone told me once, they said, if you want to be good in your industry, all you got to do is become known for that thing to your circle and everyone around it. I said, oh, fitness. And then I've got to think of a name. Oh, let's do Fit with me. There you go. And I stuck with it.
Fit with Frank, and listen, it says what it says what it needs to say on the tin, right? And what I would say is that I looked at one of your posts today, and it was like, you know, if you're lacking motivation, sort of how to get started, and it was literally like, do one exercise and then feel the endorphins, and then you'll get more and get more and get more. And you've got your own studio now as well, right? So you're able to coach people, you know, fitness wise anywhere. Yeah,
which is important for me. I like to have that. That was where, I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about lockdown and that experience, and how you found me through videos. As much as I love doing that, I do love that. I need that next level where you're getting to actually meet someone and take them to, you know, become part of a community. And for me, having a place that's your own to do that was important. So yeah, it's exciting.
I see really great things come out of these interviews, because after an interview with Kenny Thomas back in April, I've made a song. We've raised £2,000 for his daughter who's not well. Great things come out of these interviews, and here's an example of one. Motivation with Mark, with Mr. Trick.
That's it. Get writing a new book, get another one.
Mark's motivations. Oh, yes, Emma. I love it. Right. So, yeah, I mean, you know, we met, obviously, yeah, we found you through various videos. You were on another interview somewhere. Emma looked you up, ended up doing some exercise. I watched, got involved. And your energy was fantastic. Certainly during lockdown, you know, that was great. I mean, you were the few times I saw you quite regularly, you were in your daughter's bedroom doing like all kinds of like jumping around to some 140 BPM kind of like dun, 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 you know, and it was just it was hilarious. It was
only a DJ would pick up on the BPM.
It was fast. It was fast. I was trying to keep up. I was like, this is fast. I'm not sure I've got this. I might go half speed and just. But you were buzzing. You were absolutely buzzing. And yeah, you had the little pink dragon or a little pink elephant there. I can't remember.
Got it all, mate. Look at me now. I've got drawn a skeleton on the wall. We got kids. This is just my life. I've got 2 young girls, and it's reality, isn't it? And I think what lockdown did was showed we got to see a bit of everybody's reality. I think, didn't we, across the board? How was how did you feel? You must have been doing stuff.
Well, what was interesting was I was already doing quite a bit of coaching online. So actually to do that coaching online, it actually just sort of exploded into like loads of people working at home. Now my diary, literally today, I've had 9 clients hour by hour by hour with an hour for lunch, which I love. I mean, I love to do it. I do make sure that there's other bits in my diary so I can get out of the house and go to meetings and see people. But sometimes, particularly on the coaching days, it's literally hour by hour by hour. And certainly lockdown, you know, I mean, it in some ways, well, you know, in my book, I've written, in every crisis, there's an opportunity. And although this was a worldwide crisis, and although it was a difficult moment and a challenging moment, it was also an opportunity for us to be able to potentially reach more people who weren't at work all day, every day.
Interesting. So, but you're now, when you say you did this 9 hours, is this all from your base? People can come from anywhere.
Yeah. This is all my clients that are literally just booking in today, hour by hour. And it's good. I mean, it's a great way to be able to talk like this. We weren't able to do this like 5 years ago, 10 years ago, even really. Skype, remember Skype? When that was 10 years ago, that was awful, really. And so I think that, you know, it's opened up more and more opportunities in different ways. Let's put it that way. And I've got clients now in Australia, Japan, Canada, all over Europe, all over the UK, and they just log into Zoom and off we go, and we're talking and chatting. And I mean, you used some of these digital mediums to reach people when you were doing your Fit with Frank sessions, right?
Yeah, Yeah, mate. Well, I was ahead. I did proactively do that 5 years ago when I set up the name Fit with Frank, as it were. I was like, well, I want to help people that aren't in the gym. I had an urge to help people that weren't coming to me in the gym. I was like, where are they? There's loads of people out there. You read all these figures about people being unhealthy, overweight, they need help. I'm like, where are they? They're not in the gym. So I was like, where up? Well, they're probably scrolling Facebook or scrolling Instagram or whatever. So all I've got to do is pop up every now and then. Hello, I'm here. And just, so I was very proactive about that. And then when all this lockdown happened, I kind of already had that system, as it were. So it was just a case of, I suppose, doing more of it because you had more time to do it. But then the whole world was doing it. I mean, I'm sure you did Joe Wicks. I did Joe Wicks. We was all doing workouts every day. I'd run out of things to do at home, you know. I was knackered.
There's only so much you can do. There's only so much. A couple of big shouts as well to my good friend Pete Weston, Dancing Dad. And
Dancing Dad. We need more on that. What do you mean, Dancing Dad?
And the lovely Louise Alexander as well, saying Louise introduced. Of course you did, Louise. Yes. And
we love Lou.
Yes, we do. Yeah. Yes, we. There you go. We love Lou. Yes, we do. Anyway, Pete is Dancing Dad. So when I do my DJ mixes on a Saturday night, as I was doing all the way through lockdown, Pete would send in videos of himself dancing to songs. Lots of people did it, but Pete just became known as Dancing Dad.
He had the best moves. He had the best moves. That's what you're saying.
Oh, mate, 100%. Lovely question from Emma. How can you stay motivated talking to cameras, though, rather than in a fitness studio? How do you feel about that?
That's an easy one, actually, because I have from the very beginning always imagined the person on the other side of it. So even now, I call her Barbara. We do actually have a couple of members called Barbara now, which is slightly awkward. But when I created that person and I was like, what does Barbara need to see? What does she, when I'm popping up on her feed, what does she need to see and hear? And I literally just imagined, so that my energy comes from the fact that I know someone somewhere might hear it.
Nice.
I suppose if you were getting nothing back ever, I'd probably lose my energy. But I've been fortunate to always have something. It could just be a thanks, Frank, or like you said, you might have done a workout. I never know about it. I never know you did it. But then I see you and you go, you know what, mate? You did your thing in lockdown. That was fun. 140 beats per minute, bit fast, but next time. And then I go, oh, that's good. That was worth me doing that.
Next time, pitch it down a bit for the slightly older gentleman.
You need to try Froger. You've not tried Froger yet.
No,
that's the lane. Frank style yoga. That's calming. We're going 70, 80 BPMs. Nice.
And what is your website so people can find you as well? Just to let people know.
I reckon you could guess it, but it's fitwithfrank.com.co.uk. Yep.
Okay, that's good. And so that's good because you started with your ideal customer. You start with your ideal customer in mind. That's a very powerful thing for any business person, actually, to start with your ideal customer. Who's my ideal customer? Yours was Barbara. What does she need to do? And she was like, a fiction of your imagination, really. But you were like, how am I going to, entice her in and get her to understand that actually fitness is not just good for the body, right? I mean, it's mental health as well, isn't it?
Well, 100%, yeah, definitely. I'm all for that. And even more so now, I would say I'm getting more away from six packs, biceps. I mean, I've never had them anyway, but it's more about that. The feeling afterwards, what does it enable you to do after? And that's why we connected, I suppose, because you're working with people that are at a point where they're trying to remix their life and move forward in a way. I just do it through movement and exercise because it can really be that kick. And like today, I said, do one exercise. It could be that one that just starts to snowball for you. We're
the perfect team then, aren't we? Sorting out mind and body.
I would say so, mate. I would say so.
Yeah. We could be an unstoppable team, Frank. So no, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I work a lot with mind, but certainly, I'm actually working a lot on my body as well because I had problems with my knees, knee operations and stuff like that. And I'm getting the strength back in my body. And I use a personal trainer at David Lloyd in Hampton. And I work with the guy, and I'm getting stronger and stronger every day. It does work, but having a coach or a personal trainer or whatever you want to call it in different areas of your life motivates you. That's what you do, Frank, right? I mean, you motivate people to get going, don't you? So you do one-on-one sessions. You also do like group. You've got your own studio now, so you do group sessions as well for people.
Now, yeah, try and offer all layers. So it would start with online, which has got the big. You can do that without me knowing, quietly. That's perfect for Barbara because she's not sure of exercise yet. Gets her going, and then you might jump into a group class. So like tonight, I just came back from a circuits class. Great fun, just a group of people. And then, that one-to-one support is really the next layer, which is probably where you can make the most impact for someone. But obviously the investment is that much more all round for everybody.
But the mind and body work together. I think I realized in Life Remix, when I was diagnosed with an incurable disease, I realized that my mind and body was very much connected. But up until that point, until I sort of hit that rock bottom moment, I couldn't walk for 18 months, I had never kind of connected those two things. I understand your point about kind of the endorphins and feeling good after exercise. I used to get that, but I never understood that it could go the other way. I never understood that my mind could actually impact upon my body negatively. But I suppose, a great question from Louise. She says, you're always upbeat and full of energy. Do you ever have a can't be bothered day? And I'll answer that as myself. No, my energy is always high and I'm always in a good place because I've worked it up like a muscle to be, my mind is really like, in a good place, which means that I've always upbeat and full of energy. But what about you, Frank?
Oh, no, I've can't be bothered days. Yeah, I definitely do, mate. But because it's so ingrained that I know for me, movement makes me feel better. I always start there. And it happened today. That's what it literally happened this morning. I was like, oh, I would not have gone to the gym unless I had a client. I just wouldn't have gone because I was there and I thought, you know what, just give it a punt. And all of a sudden, I just felt better. And that's it. Yeah, it does take work. It takes practice. And often you need a bit of reminding yourself, don't you? And that's why I love to surround myself, as I said, with people that are bouncing the same kind of vibe, because then if you do have that moment, there's a chance you might have that pick me up you need. Yeah. But just that little nudge. Yeah.
There'll be someone else there that can coach you, motivate you, get you just moving a little bit more. That's why I work with the personal trainer at the gym. Lindsay says, tell me about NEOPS. So Lindsay knows all about those as well. And thank you for your kind words, Lindsay.
Can I, before we move, because I'm really interested, mate, to ask you, obviously what you went through, I can't understand it for you. That's your story. That's what you've been through. For you now, where does exercise fit in? What is it? Like, you're seeing a trainer, you're investing in it, but what is it for you? Like,
it's an interesting thing. So I go Monday morning and Thursday morning to the gym, and I do my hour with my personal trainer. And those are two good sessions, and I'm building up the strength back in my legs. Essentially, my legs stopped working, not once but twice, with flare-ups of the arthritis and the incurable dis-ease thing that that I was diagnosed with. So now it's a question of rebuild and recover. And I wish there was a quick fix, and I wish it would just I could just go, yeah, no problem, it's done. But we know, to work on your mind the way that I do, it takes time and effort, and long and patient effort, and consistency and motivation. And it's the same with the body. The mind and the body are very, very similar. They're all part of the instrument that we live in. But for me, it's more and more about building up strength in the legs. My goals are to be able to walk 18 holes of golf comfortably, which I believe I'll be able to do next summer. Ride my bicycle. I'm going to set a distance that I can do both of these things, but it really takes it out of me at the moment. But then a goal is to ride my bicycle, and I'll set a distance. It could be 40 miles, 50 miles. I want to be able to do a long bike ride, London to Brighton or something like that. And then, I don't think I'm ever going to be able to run again. I ran 4 marathons, as you might know. I did recover once from the disease and ran 4 marathons, but then the disease flared up again. So for me, it's about rebuild, recovery. I'm 50 years old now, and it's about building up that strength day by day. And I do a couple of other sessions in between, and I do ride my bike and play a bit of golf. So put all of that together. And Emma reminds me that we've just bought a bike seat for the puppy. So I've got my own Frank. I've got my own Frankie, who sits on the crossbar of the bike.
Yes.
I'm riding along. He's got his little puppy seat on the crossbar.
His tongue out.
Yeah.
Air in his face.
I'm riding along, and I was riding past 2 ladies around the local streets of Esher the other week. And I'm riding around, and as I'm going past, I'm looking at the puppy, I'm looking at them, and she went, gorgeous. And I was like, cheers, love. Thanks. I know you meant me. Anyway,
it was puppies and babies. That's the best way to get.
Yeah. Why didn't anyone tell me that when I was 20? Anyway, back on point.
Or DJing.
DJing did work. Yeah, it definitely worked. But certainly, getting through lockdown, you helped a lot of people. When did you actually start Fit with Frank? When did you start your own business, like your own consulting and your own fitness?
Just over 5 years ago. It would just popped up on the LinkedIn, the 5-year anniversary.
Right.
I was doing well I was a gym manager. I worked up my ladder at David Lloyd's, actually. I do know your Hampton one. It used to be my go-to for the spa. Lovely.
I love the spa, mate. The spa's my little pleasure. At the end, I do me an hour workout, and then I'm straight in the spa for like 45 minutes. Like,
honestly, I miss the benefits of being at David Lloyd's for that, because you could just go around.
I've got the odd guest pass, mate. So you're welcome.
And honestly, I worked there for maybe 8-9 years, up the ladder, training lots of clients, loving it, really at home there. And then I just reached a point when I had my first child, Ella. I think it was literally while I was on paternity, and I just thought that the one downside of working for a company was that I wasn't in control of when I worked. Traditionally, it's harder to earn more money in a place like that, just because you're always giving money to the business.
Yeah.
And I did. That was where probably my remix of life was then. When she was born, I went, do you know what's most important to me now is time. That is like the big, most valuable thing. And at the minute, I'll be getting calls at the weekend, oh, so-and-so's sick, or, you're meeting on a Monday about targets and all these things I didn't care that much for. That's not important to me now. Time at home is. So if I go back to doing what I do well, and I create my own thing, and I can eventually fly on my own, that's Fit with Frank, my life will be better. And it's not been easy, but definitely not. I got it wrong, but all in all, it's been really, really valuable for me.
I'd say most people that go to set up their own business think that it's the dream, and what they don't realise is there's a lot of work that has to go into it. There's sales, marketing, all the programs, everything you need to plan, accounts, the 100 other things you have to take care of to actually make these things successful. But the satisfaction.
Do not do it unless you're passionate about it. That's my main. Yeah. When people come to me, they go, "Oh, I have an idea," and I'm like, "You're going to need more than that. You're going to need some real."
You got to go for the thing that really brings you pleasure, and is your passion. And if you do that, and you've got the energy for it, the money will just come because of the energy that you're putting into it. But so many people. They come to me and they're like, well, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to do this, I want to do that. But as you say, you've got to make sure their mindset is right. And it's the same. It's the same with the gym. The mindset has got to be right. And I heard a great person say once, I only hire attitude because everything else I can train. Right? Think about that in the gym. Think about it, motivation. Someone turns up with the wrong attitude and they're a bit like, you do it for me. Come on. That's never going to work for you, is it?
No. My first question is always why are you here? And if there's not a big enough, it's not in either of our benefit to work together. If you're going to invest in a trainer, which is my job, it's not cheap. Like, you're paying good money for a trainer, right? For both of us, it's just not worth it unless you really know why. Like, you've got a really strong reason to turn up on a Monday, Wednesday for your sessions. Like, you've got some big life differences that could happen for you doing that. Your trainer will look forward to training you, I assume. But that's to put up with your banter, which is another side of it. But
he's also a Chelsea fan, so we get on.
Oh, that's all right.
we get on just great. And even weirder, he's friends with one of my old schoolmates' sons, and he plays football. It's weird, but amazing in many ways. A couple more messages. Good evening from Spain, says Jim.
Hola.
Jim, he's a top fella and always supports. And Jim, we're going to be in Spain next week, my friend. But it's a big place, so I don't know if
nice.
And Emma says you're smashing it with the online presence, though, Frank. Would you agree with that? You're smashing it with the online presence?
I'm there. Yeah, I'm there. I wouldn't say I'm smashing it. There's people that do a lot better. But what is better? I'll tell you what, because I've reevaluated that this year. That's another remix. I've had a couple of remixes in the last 5 years, to be fair.
And what have you reevaluated? Because for me, one of my quotes in Life Remixed is comparison is the thief of joy. If you sat there comparing yourself to this person and this person and this person, you just ruin your own happiness. There's no point, don't do it. Actually just focus on you and what you're doing. Is that something you reevaluated?
Yeah, I mean, when I first started and I realised how good social media was to connect with so many people, I got excited by that, and I was a bit probably in the first year or two driven by how many people where can I get to? Seeing the body coach when he first come through, I was like, man, he's making a killing. I could do that, and you think that's what you're chasing. And, you know, even though I probably didn't say that out loud, I probably deep down thought that's what I wanted, you know, let's get millions of people to follow me. But I really, really have gone full circle. And that's why I've invested in my own place now. It doesn't really make sense business-wise, really, to pay for a premises. I don't need a premises online. It's the cheapest thing you got. I could reach loads of people for next to nothing. But it doesn't bring me joy. You find yourself, and I'm way past this now, but I know a lot of people in my world, in your world, will be driven by an arbitrary number, whatever that might be, whether it's someone liking a page or telling you you're great on the social media, all these sort of, to me, non-meaningful things. And that's a road that I don't know where the end is. Whereas I'm quite clear that I still want to find Barbara. I'm doing the same thing. The online presence that you're saying I've smashed is in a place where I can reach enough people to fulfill me, in my opinion. I just need to stay there to remind you that I'm here. So when you're ready to do what you need to do with me, I'm here. And that's where I'm at now. It's a very different, I'm not chasing, there's much quicker ways to get more followers, much quicker ways. You just got to be controversial, entertaining, or just downright outrageous, which I'm not.
No, I mean neither.
So, yeah, it's really changed for me, but the presence is nice. I've got a really good relationship with it. I have social media free Sunday, phone free Sunday. Now I've had it for probably 2 or 3 years. And that was a deliberate effort from me to like show that I don't need it. Like I just don't need it. So I keep that in place. So like, yeah, I'm in a good place with it. It gets me business. It's happy days.
Yeah, exactly right. And
I get to speak to people like you, mate, which is, you know.
And likewise, and it's about freedom, isn't it, as well? It's about that time freedom. You know, when you can get time and money freedom and you're not working for someone that doesn't appreciate you and you're not in a good place and you don't want to, waste your time or getting those phone calls on a Sunday about, you know, this has gone wrong and that's gone wrong and can you do this and can you do that? You know, that stuff can really drain you. Whereas actually, you know, when you can live a life like I know that both of us live now, is actually it's uplifting. You know, I enjoy every minute of it. You know, there's challenges, of course there are, but I enjoy every minute of it. But let's talk about the day you broke the internet, shall we? You know, that day when you broke the internet and absolutely had millions of people trying to find you and what went on in your life. Why don't you tell us a bit more about that?
I broke my website. I broke that. But you know, when I first saw that phrase, I thought, is he talking about? Did you see when I got on BBC News? That was my funniest day through the internet. That was awesome. That was the Winter Olympics. I muck about with silly videos, me, Mark. It keeps me entertained. So me and one of the physios were trying to create our own Winter Olympics in the gym. So it's like he had a broom and I was throwing a kettlebell and we were doing curling and then I was doing ice skating and all that. And then next thing I know, people are messaging me. They said, Frank, you're on BBC News. I was going, what? What have I done? Is it like crime watch? So I thought you meant that.
Hang on. Were they short of content that day?
Very, very. They obviously run out of everything they knew about Winter Olympics. They were like, we can't speak about it anymore. We've run out of. Oh, there's a Wally in Surrey dancing about in his gym. It's brilliant, but that was my funniest. And when I thought I broke the internet, I was like, wow, that was my viral moment. But you're referring to when probably 2 or 3 years in. This is relevant now because Strictly Come Dancing is on now. Yeah. Maybe the dancing dad knows. Is it Pete? Is it Pete, the dancing dad?
Honestly, Pete. Yeah, Pete's the dancing dad. Yeah, absolutely. I'll be honest. I don't spend a lot of my Saturday evenings watching Strictly, but I do. I mean, my mum and brother are religious about it. I mean, it's literally just they will not. They'll watch it from the first cha-cha-cha to the last one. You know, I mean, they'll love it. But how did this come about? It's huge. And how did it come about? And obviously, who are you working with?
You know how big that show is. Well, it's big. It's like way beyond what I could think of in terms of volume of people. I was fortunate to be training a lady called Ruth Langsford. I trained her son before then, and I was just in with the family, just training. She said she needs to get fit for something, and I was like, great. And then she sort of told me as we were going through, oh, it's for a TV show called Strictly, and I was like, this is fun. And it was like the training was fun. We sort of incorporated what you would do in dancing. I'm not a dancer, but I thought when you watch the show, you got to be a bit flexible. You got to have the fitness because it's very hard work. Even I think it's only 1 or 2 minutes, right? But you watch them at the end, they're like, she was just like, I just need to be fit enough. So don't embarrass myself on Strictly. I can get through it.
Yeah.
So we were training through the summer, and then she started posting some stuff about the training, and when the show was going on, it's just bananas. And then I think one day she said, "Oh, Frank's got a website." Just did one post.
Yeah.
And then my website broke. It couldn't hack it. I didn't know, it wasn't ready for that. I just got more customers than you can deal with. I was messaging everywhere. It's everywhere. It's like Instagram. I couldn't keep up. But it was my first taste of, that world of just celebrities or people that have got a big audience. There's people now, kids, gamers that have got millions of followers. And this is one post I've experienced, and it's blown my world. And I was like, poof. I think if it happened now, I'd be ready for it, and I'd be like, yes, like bring on Strictly. If there's any Strictly participants watching this, I'm your man. I'm experienced. I'll prove a track record.
I promise you, if I ever get there, mate, then you and I will be working.
I'm your trainer.
You'll definitely be my trainer. You've got form. But a good
couple of lessons there. It was good. It was great. I loved it. Really fond memories of that, for sure.
Yeah, of course. And it's interesting, isn't it? Like, sometimes, like, we plan so many things in our life, and then all of a sudden, like, one post from obviously a great celebrity, Ruth, actually getting out there and doing that. But actually the overwhelm, knock-on effect for you was literally just like boom, 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 and the website goes down. And it's a brilliant story, mate. I absolutely love it.
I managed to, imagine myself like a fisherman, just trying with my net to try. I needed a little net at the time. I was just trying to get as many people as I could. And
hold on.
Funnily enough, we did a little post in my community now, my online community. We've got 200 or 300 members around wherever who are with me. And we just said, where did you find me? Because I sometimes forget. I'm like, where did you find me originally? What was it? Some people might have seen me on Channel 4 on that Sunday brunch thing. Some people are still now, and that was 2017, still in there. And they go, that was when Ruth did that post. And I like, it makes you go, if it wasn't for that, the internet, I never would have,
no.
It's just amazing.
But that's
like you say, we never had this back, 10 years ago. This wasn't a thing.
It's amazing how that reach can actually, transform a business or transform a life, isn't it? So, that's wonderful, mate, and all power to you. So the website's up and running.
Get on Strictly, mate. That's your mission.
Okay. The knees might not take it, if I'm honest, but perhaps I could be the comedy element. I'm not sure. But anyway, the point is that, so fitwithfrank.com literally couldn't handle the traffic then. I'm sure it'll be able to handle the traffic now. And as far as coaching goes, for fitness coaching now, if people are looking for a little bit of extra oomph, what are the levels that you work to? So obviously you get to the physical if they want to come to the studio, but you've got different programs, I presume.
It's all aimed at the beginner, still aimed at the beginner. So there's lots of free content that people start with. So the whole journey of someone, let's say Barbara, again, is covered on all bases. Generally speaking, though, if you're a total beginner, you'd follow one of my free videos somewhere. Maybe you've seen it on YouTube or wherever, and you have a go. And it'll be a mixture of low impact, like you said, high energy, but generally low impact. Try and avoid burpees where we can, because no one likes those. And teach you about balance and how exercise should make you feel better. So I'm really big on getting you to do some strength training of some kind, because I think at all ages that'll benefit you. You mentioned that you're doing strength training.
Yeah.
We all need it as we grow. I think huge value in that at every level. And also stretching. I'm now a yoga instructor. I've done that deliberately because I think it's important. And just giving it a try is the first step. And then it's like, what do you need next? And then you need a program. You need something structured. Okay, come and join my club. We call it the club. That's where we've got all these programs. We do a challenge, which we're doing at the moment together, because I know you need the program, but you also need the support. And now we provide that in that section. Mm. And then once you get into that, you've done a few challenges. You're like, what's next? Oh, I want to go and join my first gym or train with Mark or whatever. All bases are covered. Mm. It just depends how you need it, and the journey is different for everyone. I don't think there's an end point to anyone's journey from what I'm seeing. Everyone's always resetting and re-going and remixing, like I'm sure you encourage. And maybe I should draw some information from you while I'm here. So what one issue our clients would have, if any, and there's lots, would be trying to refine that motivation in themselves. So they might achieve the goal. So let's say like you booked your 50-mile bike ride. Fantastic. You did it. Brilliant. The day after, what happens next? That's a zone that I see as the danger zone, to quote a great song. what can we do for them? Have you got any like strategies for these people, you know, to reset and go again?
There's a really good quote that says, people say that motivation doesn't last, but neither does bathing. That's why we recommend you do it every day. And actually,
every day?
Yeah. I talked to Missy Sinclair about that. But the point is actually that you know, that motivation, that daily motivation is so important. And there's so many different places that you can find it now. You can get yourself a mind, a purpose. You know, I do purpose, vision, and goals coaching. You know, you get yourself your fitness and your fitness coach. I've got a nutritional coach. You know, I've even got a golf coach. You know, I mean, I've got a coach for just about everything. And it's great just to have someone there, just, you know, just in your ear going, come on. But what the big overarching thing to your question, answer to your question, is actually, it's about having a purpose. So, you know, a lot of people will set a goal, do it, and then have that kind of like moment afterwards. Or for instance, you know, I mean, Manchester United were quite good at it when they kept winning the league year after year after year. But it's quite often that a team will win the league and then drop off the following season. You know,
Liverpool, yeah.
Well, you know, whatever. Yes. Anyway, so anyway, the point is that, you know, that can happen quite often. And the point of this is that actually, once you've got a purpose and you understand your purpose and why you're on this planet, then you never lack motivation. And I work with the people a lot about what their purpose is for being on this planet. And that's quite deep, man, you know, because most people don't think about it. You know, I know my purpose. My purpose is to bring joy to people, to share knowledge, to inspire other people that you can get over dis-ease, bankruptcy, and all these other things that went wrong for me. And then to create things like writing a book, making music, you know, that's create. So as long as I do joy, knowledge, inspire, create, I feel good. So setting a goal and achieving it for me is part of that process to being in that positive mindset that I've set for myself. But many people, I don't know if you ever broach that subject with people, but many people don't have that kind of level of purpose to understand how they can articulate it and then what they can do about it every day.
Yeah, mate, I'm with you. And when you're one-to-one with someone, and this is why I've always kept that, it might, for me, and I'm not trained in the process of coaching someone through the mind. But what I've learned through training lots of, you know, over these thousands of people now is that it comes out of it. Does, you can find it. It might not be the first time I meet them.
Yeah.
But what I used to see a lot, and I still see now, is someone will join me for a reason, and it might be a fat loss. It's usually weight loss, fat loss. That's what they say. This is the biggest market. And then actually, when you get to know this person even more, the purpose comes to the top, and that's when you truly make the difference with people. And that's probably what keeps me in it, because you keep unearthing this new, you know, everyone wants to lose a stone before Christmas or whatever. That stuff, that's the front end. But when you get into what is that going to do? I always ask, okay, so when you are a stone lighter, as you suggested you wanted to be, what's going to be different? What's going to be different then?
Yeah.
And if they're stumbling, and then I know, okay, we've got work to do there, because otherwise, if you don't know what is being lighter, what does weight even mean? If it's stopping you, like I had a lady, a lot of mums I work with, she can't play with her kids as much as she wants to. Now that's a goal. Yeah. Like, okay, if you're a say a stone lighter, you're 8 and you're more mobile, you can now do that thing that her purpose is being a parent, as a lot of people's are. But she didn't say that when she joined. That wasn't on her form. Yeah. So it takes me a while to unearth it. And I don't know whether that's something you experienced. Like you probably, you know, the process. I just go through and it happens.
Absolutely. A lot of times people will come to me with a face value kind of thing, as you're saying, you know, face value, I've got all these problems, but actually we have to get a lot deeper. And I do that in my 12 months to remix your life program. I also do the free content like you as well, because I believe there's a level of free content that people need and that we can share. And we do 5 days to remix your life off the back of, obviously, you know, the Life Remix book. And the point of that is that we get into that place that we give people loads of free content. We go, look here, you know, this is what we're doing. And but then if you switch off the Zoom or you leave the event and then you don't do anything with it, then that's on you. But if you come in and you want to be a part of what we're doing and you want to grow, you know, part of a network the way you're doing with Fit with Frank, the way we're doing with Life Remixed, If you come in and you get involved, then you're going to see great results. But it takes commitment in every level, right?
So when you're 12 months, is that normal? Is that long enough to really get to the root? Like it seems a long time to me, but.
Well, no, I believe that it takes 12 months to reprogram the subconscious mind that we're all carrying around with us that most people are not even aware of. And when you become aware of your subconscious mind, which essentially is your feeling, your emotional mind, but when you become aware of it, then you can start to change it. But we do 2 sessions a month with people, and it takes 12 months as a commitment, because I want people to be coming out at the end of my 12 months going, that just changed my life. That absolutely changed my life. And I know we can change a lot in 90 days. I know we can do that. I know we can change. I mean, I went from unable to run at all to finishing the London Marathon in about 95 days or something. You know what I mean? So I did this. I know you can do a lot with training in a 90-day period. But I think, 90 days and the commitment, is very, very important to be able to achieve what you want. So we do this 12-month program, but I believe that the 12-month program, which we've only started in the last sort of 8 months, but every single person loves it. And I believe that a lot of those people will either come on to work with me as a coach later as we grow and we bring in more and more people, or they'll just continue to be coached because they see the value in having someone about their mindset all the time. Okay, have you thought about it like that? Have you thought about it like that? Could you do that differently? Maybe you could look at this, that kind of stuff, and I've been studying self-development for like 17 years. So, from my perspective, 12 months seems like a very short time, to be able to like shift the mindset and also, impact the body in a really good way.
Nice. Yeah. I think about it a lot, time spans, and because people want an offer, they want it quick and they want a result fast. This is the biggest.
That's the thing. That's the problem. The problem. Sorry, Emma's just popped up. It didn't take you 95 days to finish the marathon. No, it didn't. If it did, I'd be literally a snail. But I will, here's the thing. People get really excited about their marathon times, don't they? About or their how much they can bench press. They get caught up in the number all the time, don't they? Ultimately, my best run was 4 hours, 39 minutes and 10 seconds, and I'll never forget it. And that's not bad for a big, huge guy like me. Thank you very much. But what I would say is that, it took a level of commitment to go from unable to run and previous to that, 12 months before that, unable to walk in general, to then do that 95 days of training or so and end up on the, crossing the finish line of the marathon. So it can be done. It absolutely can be done. And it's about motivation, focus, and getting there. I do just want to just circle back a tiny bit back to television, because BBC News, Strictly Come Dancing, and Sunday Brunch. So you've been on Sunday Brunch with Tim Lovejoy. I know Lovejoy. I've met him in Monaco.
He's one of your Chelsea crew, isn't he?
My Chelsea boys, yeah. I met him in Monaco after Chelsea got beat by Monaco at the Champions League semi-final many years ago. Very drunk in a bar at about 3 a.m. But it was great. It was me, Tim Lovejoy, and Jason Cundy. I'm sure he remembers me. I'm a memorable guy. I'm sure he talks about it. But I mean, as far as getting in with these, TV shows and stuff like that, I mean, how does that happen? How does that continue? And is that something that you want to pursue?
I don't have the recipe to get on TV. I'll be honest with you. I don't have the recipe. I just know that if you're in the mix, you get asked to do stuff. The thing with TV, and why I wouldn't narrow in on that, is what they need is something exciting or different. So the thing they were doing that I was involved in was a 1 minute workout, and they'd get a trainer in every week to do a 1 minute workout.
Yeah.
Because I guess 1 minute sounds doable. So before COVID existed, it was come into the studio, do a workout with us for a minute, go home again. Brilliant. Yeah. Great day's work for a minute. I mean,
I'll take it. Thanks.
And when I went in the show, I absolutely loved it. I love the whole setting of it, but I understand what it is. I understand what it's for. And there's a dilemma, I think, if people are listening, they want to get into telly, in that you're going to have to be controversial or different in order to be wanted continually in that world. and I'm not necessarily trying to be different. A lot of what I say is boring. It is quite boring to tell you that it's going to take time. Exercise is something you need to learn to enjoy, and it could be anything. You could do walking, you could do dancing. It's boring. No one wants to hear that. They want to know that this is the diet plan, this is the lunge that's going to change your life. And I'm not often willing to go there. So it's a world that's great. If you want to excel in it, think like that. What do they need? What's exciting? What's the buzz? Use it to your advantage. So I always thought, right, okay, I've got 1 minute. What can you, I said to I remember driving up there thinking, what can I do in a minute? Like, what are you going to do? What can you do? If I can do anything, I can just leave just a mark of me being in existence. So I turned up in monkey slippers. So they're massive monkey slippers. I took my little cow that I have to say, Lindsay, but I thought to myself, no one's going to remember if my lunge was superb or my burpee was great. They'll just remember what they felt when they saw it. And it was all I wanted to do in a minute, was make you smile. And I was one of the first ones doing this. Tim Lovejoy was doing a silly dance at the end. And I can't remember the guy's name, but he's a film star of some kind. He was with me doing it. And they were all dancing. It was like silly. It was silly. But that's what I wanted. That's what I turned up for. And I left and I was buzzing. It was brilliant. They were like, great, thanks, brilliant, superb, whatever. And then it was, still got, like you say, Lindsay, people remember it. They go, oh, do you remember that time you was on Sunday brunch in slipper? Yeah, it's good. And it was great. It was great. But I'm not actively trying to get on TV. I mean, if TV wants me, I'll have a go. Yeah. And since they did it during lockdown as well, I think that was a good initiative, to be fair. It was to do with, and I have forgotten the name of the charity now, which is bad, but they were doing it alongside a charity to help people realize that exercise is for everyone. So they'd bring in different types of people every week, for different audiences, different cultures, different people, which was wicked. And that was a good initiative. Yeah. And I'm pleased I was involved with it. And I ended up doing, do you know what? That's the only time I've been trolled is really? Because of that program. Yeah. And that wasn't that time, believe it or not the slippers time.
Really?
That was when I had to do one in my garden during lockdown.
Okay. And you got trolled?
I had a fence that, I'll be honest, it weren't in great nick. So I did it in my garden. It wasn't in great nick. It was mouldy. It needed painting. And I've got absolutely torn.
To the fence.
It was, no one mentioned the workout. It was everywhere.
Look at the state of things.
I said, they don't pay me for this.
Yeah. Leave my fence out of this. Do you know what I mean? But then you always have to think about your background, mate. No, this is very well thought through what's going on around me here. I'll have you know.
Just a normal garden with a naff fence. I thought it was normal anyway.
No, that's brilliant. I mean, look, I mean, it's interesting, isn't it? Emma was saying everyone's always looking for a quick fix. Do you both find that? I mean, absolutely. I mean, if I actually, went out there, and I might do this in a few years' time, but when if I went out there and said, I'll make you a millionaire tomorrow, sort of, if I actually went out, you have people all over you. But the bottom line is actually becoming a millionaire and taking slow and steady steps towards that millionaire and that freedom, and doing large property deals and getting, it just doesn't. It's not like winning the lottery, you know what I mean? Everyone wants that instant gratification, and that kind of what you get with 1 minute, a 1 minute workout or a 30-second elevator pitch. Do you know what I mean? It's like, boom, that's it, mate. You know what I mean? That's all you get. And I find that interesting. I mean, the world just wants that quick fix. Do you find that?
Yeah. And someone said a phrase, give them what they want and then show them what they need. That's stuck with me because I still run short challenges.
Yeah.
So we start with like 6 weeks, 90 days. And I know full well it's not going to change everything you want to change in that time. I know it's not, but it might get you to something that is achievable. So you get that thing that you want. Maybe it's the weight loss.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the race. Maybe you did do a marathon. You achieved something you didn't think you could. And then all of a sudden, during that process, your visions and purposes, maybe you find that purpose and it all changes. So for me, that's how I don't think no one listens when you just tell them what is actually true, what they need. It is boring.
Yeah.
What you need is support. What you need is guidance. What you need is a bit of direction and purpose. This is all true, but not exciting enough. So we probably are, and this is why I know you're in your world of coaching. I am a prime customer of people in that world. So I get a lot of adverts that will come up, and it'll be someone telling me something that I want to hear immediately. So I do get, you'll be a millionaire tomorrow if you press this. And I go, oh, I'll press that. I'm still not a millionaire.
It must be true.
But I guess the good ones, just they know that that's what you want to see, and we all want that. It's human nature. I'm no different. You know, I started playing golf, like you just said. I'm useless. If you told me that if I do this program, I'm going to be amazing at golf, I'll press the button, mate. I'll have a punt.
I'll get you in the Ryder Cup team in 2 years' time. No
Forget
let's be honest, Frank. Let's be honest. They need us. They need us, right? No doubt.
Couldn't do any worse. Couldn't do any worse this time.
They need my 17 over par to get around. But actually, as well, I don't know if I told you this, but I'm gonna next year. I'm working with Louise, and
we love Lou.
We love Louise, Athena PR. We are working with Louise and a couple of her colleagues and stuff that I'm talking to about putting on a charity golf day for the National Ankylosing Spondylitis Society, which is the dis-ease that I manifested in my body. I think it's it's going to be great. So I'd love you to be able to join us, Frank, if you can. It will be next year, early next year, as into the spring. But listen, you can hack your way around just as bad as I can.
Hey, just so we're all clear on my levels, I've gone from being absolute turd, like you just don't stand next to him, and then I went to the level of not losing the ball on a round, which was huge.
Yeah, that's massive.
I still lose them now, but there was one I haven't lost the ball. It's the first time.
That's big.
And then I've got a par or two, on that level.
Yeah.
Not good.
Listen, we're the same. But
I love it.
Yeah.
And you know what? That is something that I've proactively put into my life for the mind. So we talk about the mind. For me, everything I do is generally go. It's enthusiastic. But where's the other switch? And golf has ticked the box for me on that.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be, as long as your mindset's right, it can be relaxing to go out for 4 hours and just play your golf and play your game. But I've seen people really lose their shit as well. I've seen people just like freak out and you're like, just chill. You don't worry. It's all fine. I've got a few more coming in here, mate. These are great, by the way. A few more bits about the slippers. DJ Mama, that's Fiona.
DJ Mama, yes.
Fiona's saying she's writing that one down, which is give them what they want, then show them what they need. Yeah, I hope Emma's
is that a good quote? I don't often have quotes.
I hope that's a good quote, mate. I'm going to give you that one. I mean, I'm sure Emma's got that written down. I've definitely got that written down as well. Emma, I believe, is getting into the spirit of this by saying, I need a holiday body by Sunday, please, because that's when we're off to Spain. So if you could sort that out in the next 72 hours, Frank, we would be forever in your debt. Pete says persistence, brother Mark. Absolutely, that's persistence is absolutely everything. If you don't persist, you won't actually achieve what you want. It's got to be a lifetime commitment ultimately. But lots of people don't want to hear that. They want it in 5 minutes, right? Like the beach body or the millionaire or whatever, But it does take time. A couple of others here. Emma's saying again, will Frank wear his slippers during a charity golf day? There it is. It's there. It's out there.
Would I be any better or worse? I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. Jace also says he'll play with you because he's never broken 100. There you go, Jace.
Breaking 100, yeah.
Tanisha says never give up as well. There's loads of people just commenting and being a part of this stream, Frank. And, I really do appreciate, obviously, you being here. What's the latest score at Man U? Is it 0-0?
0-0 half time. Yeah, it looks like we haven't missed too much.
Chelsea 0-0 half time as well.
They're holding off. When we turn it on, goal fest.
Yeah. We'll get back out there in a bit. I really do appreciate your support around the book as well. I know you've read parts of it. I did point you to sort of chapter 4 and chapter 8 as kind of chapter 4 is got to give it up, which is when I started to realize in my life that actually cleaning up negative thoughts, toxins I'm putting in my body and things like that. That was when I started to get really kind of aware of the things that had gone wrong in my life and then the way that I could start quickly actually to change things. And I always put these little remix opportunities at the end of the book. I love this one. Always listen to what your body is telling you. I think, lots of people sort of ignore the messages from their body, don't they? They might be gaining weight, or they might be getting pain in their body and stuff like that. And they sort of choose to ignore it rather than work with someone like you and actually get back on track. Do you find that?
Yeah, Yeah, well, we don't normally react to physical stuff until it gets to a point where you really have to, which I don't think is a wise way to look at it, is it?
No.
I saw a lot of that. I worked in a physio centre, and that was really eye-opening for me, of how many people get to such a bad state themselves, the pain, and you wonder how many signs there were leading up to that. Obviously, a lot of things can't be avoided, but sometimes we're our own worst enemy. I think if it's the body does, it's clever, mate. The body is so clever. It'd just be a little niggle here and there, and you think to yourself, well, listen.
Yeah. The body is a reflection of the mind. And we've got to get our mind right to get our body right. And I've done a lot of work with people about visualization. Do you do much with like getting people to, because a lot of people want to lose weight, right? But actually, I've got a little quote about that. Anything that we're trying to lose, or anything that we lose, we're programmed to find again. It's just how it is. But if we actually stop trying to lose weight and actually visualize ourselves living in our perfect body, if we can actually visualize that, okay, this is the body I'm going to live in, this is the goal, we set ourselves onto the goal, and we understand the purpose behind it, which is to spend, like your client, to spend more time with my children and better quality time. If we can understand that and they can visualize it, it's much more powerful than trying to lose anything. And I know you've got life coaches in your group as well, haven't you? I mean, is that something you've heard before?
No, that I've thought about definitely switching the phrase. I think wording is really important. And you won't see me saying about a weight loss course now for that reason. And the wording I use in the sessions is always, what can we add? And the first thing I would do is trying to switch how you talk about things. Because with food, as an example, I used to be someone that would maybe say, avoid that, restrict that, don't eat that. And if what you just said to me makes total sense, that thing always tended to come back. You might stop chocolate for a week, maybe 2 weeks, don't know how long it's going to come back. So now it's like, okay, you love chocolate, great. What can we add in so that you don't want it so much? So what can we eat? What's extra that you can add that will mean you're not having so much? Because you know you don't want as much because you're trying to lose weight, or not lose weight. And I'm fascinated by it, and I'm learning every time, and that's why I love chatting to like, I just always get information. That's why I've always surrounded myself with experts in different areas. That's why I said I've had different life coaches and different mind people coming in, because I love it. I think it's so important, and everyone's got their own value, and how you speak to your clients, it obviously resonates with them. It gets them results, and there's so many different characters that I get to work with. It's fun. And I know I can't help everyone as much as they probably need. I haven't got the expertise in every lane that they need. And maybe it is for a lot of mine that just really thinking about what you just said then, and actually having support around retraining how you think, how you speak, could make a huge difference.
The thing about the words that you speak is you've got to remember that you are listening, because we've got a subconscious. And so if you keep saying over and over, I'm overweight, or I've got pain, or I'm not feeling, if you keep saying these words, you're reaffirming it into your subconscious mind. Whereas actually, if you can change that, even if it feels like a lie at first, if you can change it and go, actually, no, I am happy, I'm healthy, I can focus, I can be fit, I am fit, I can do, if you change that reaffirming language, eventually your subconscious will accept it, and then you get better and better results. So, we'll be talking after this, Frank, because this is a great interview. We'll be talking about a lot more synergy between the things that we do together, because I think there's a lot that we can, team up on and help people mind and body, which is ultimately what we both are driven to do, just in slightly different areas, essentially. And yeah, I mean, one of the things I've written in the chapter 8 about a new kind of medicine was when I started to realize that what I was putting into my body wasn't helping me in any way, shape or form. It might make me feel good for one night on a dance floor or something, but actually it's not a sensible thing to be doing on a regular basis.
Was this the smoothies you were talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about. But the point is that actually, great food is medicine, right? Great food, the right things for you. And one of the things I learned was that actually anyone that tells you that a certain diet is what you must be doing, I think is slightly misguided, because we are completely different, beings. What works for my body might be completely different for your body. So I actually went vegetarian, vegan to recover from my first bout of disease. But the second time it flared up, I was under more stress again. The second time it flared up, I was asked to, can I go back to eating meat? Because we ran blood tests on this body, on this molecular structure that I'm living in. And it turned out that a lot of the vegetarian proteins were actually causing me inflammation. And I needed to go back and eat a different kind of diet. So it's fascinating, to understand what's going on inside your own body. And I think that the NHS, bless them, incredible people, they get us back up when we're really sick, but they are not able to run some of the levels of testing that I'm talking about. So I went private for those, I just paid for them. But it's so important to understand what works in this body, because you want to get, I've started eating a very few amount of foods in the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I've shed 4 kilograms without doing that much exercise. I haven't really tried to, but I've just trimmed right down. I'm trimming right down. I can feel the weight coming off, and that's going to help me get back to exercise in a better way, because I'm just eating the right foods that agree with my body. So I think great food is there's a whole thing, isn't there? Let food be thy medicine. But when you think about some of the shit that we put in our bodies, it's not medicine, is it? It's not medicine at all. In fact, sometimes, I don't want to rubbish.
Temporary.
But yeah, fast food joints, temporary highs, things that just are not serving us and add extra girth to our bellies and whatever. That's not helping us at all, I would say.
Not me, obviously. I'm purely salads and water, mate. Sometimes sparkling on a Friday. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely buff and yeah, super cool, mate. But yeah, look, it's been a fascinating interview, mate. I want to say big shouts to the Surrey mafia. So that's obviously Louis, Neil, Susie, and anyone else that is around us at any time. I think it's fascinating to understand your journey. Certainly you've been through business challenges as well. Is that fair to say? Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, speak about all that stuff. Yeah. Nothing's perfect, far from it. We're all learning.
Yeah, some of these things, people go into business and try or the body or the mind, and they're trying to be perfect all the time. And it doesn't have to be that way, does it? We can be a lot more kind of, flexible in the body, in the mind, in business, in our entire lives. And wherever you decide to start, I think just make a start, right? Like if we round it up, your video today, was so good about just trying. Chelsea are 1-0 down. Damn it! Got totally distracted.
No.
Anyway, it's fine. But what I was going to say was that
bring Frank Sinclair back, get him back. It wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, you've still got a good setup. You've still got a good engine, haven't you? We'll get you out of it. But yeah, just to round it off. We'll get a few more messages up on the screen to round it off. But basically, it's just make a start, isn't it?
Yeah, and we can all do. What I want people to believe is that they can do exercises for everyone, or you can do more than what you think you can. Yeah. And I'd hate it to be a barrier for anyone to not start because they feel that it's out of their reach, because it really isn't. You are proof of that. You to be honest, you have every right to just not try and exercise, don't you? You not try and better yourself. You've got every excuse if you want it.
Oh, if I want it,
but you're not allowing that to happen. And what you do is individual to you. And for anyone watching or listening, I think just try it. And that's what I said, one exercise, it doesn't matter what, but it will start, and it'll be a start, and who knows where it goes later.
Exactly right. My body actually works better when I've exercised. If I overdo it, my body reminds me very quickly. But if I don't do anything, it also can seize up. I've got to move. I'm not strictly come dancing, but I've got to move, right? So, let's get a few up here as on the screen as well. I don't actually, Tanisha saying I'm on Dr. Grundy's diet. I don't actually know that, Tanisha, to be honest.
I don't know Dr. Grundy's. I wouldn't know it enough to comment on it, Tanisha, but I'm sure as you said, food is very, very individual. So what happens to me is because I do nutrition, we just listen to what has worked for people or not worked for people in the past. And we say, okay, there's so many diets, it's impossible to know them all. And but if the method and the ethos behind it suits your life, great. Even without, just generalizing, carb-free diets were very fashionable for a while.
Yeah.
horrible for me. I felt terrible. Lots of people felt great.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that could be a place to go. If a lot of people are choosing vegan now, not because of the ethical reasons behind it, because they have heard that it's better for them. If you feel better for eating that way, great. But there's multiple ways.
Yeah, I think it's certain levels of trial and error. So find out what works for you when you feel good, and obviously then do more of that. The other thing that I did obviously as well is ran these like tests, blood, saliva, other stuff that you don't need to know about, but certainly ran these tests on my body to be able to then understand better what was going on inside of here. It really does work. A few more messages. Thank you for that, Tanisha. A few more messages. Lindsay says motivational fitness with Mark and Frank sounds good. Okay. All right, Lindsay, I accept your challenge. And I'll be talking to Frank tomorrow during the day.
I've got a spare leotard.
Oh,
if you want it, mate.
A mankini. Yeah, no one needs that in their life. No one needs that in their life.
You need it for Spain anyway. You need to take it to Spain.
Yeah. I'm not MFMF could mean something else, but we're up for that. Lindsay says, as long as I get the coffee right. Emma's saying one of the best straight talking episodes ever. Smiled all the way through. Thank you both. Look, that's big love from Emma, of course. Another great quote from Facebook user. Wherever you decide to start, just make a start.
Thank you. Is that Zuckerberg? Thanks, mate. I didn't know if he was answering.
Of course he's watching.
But that's a good. I like that quote. I've written that one down as well. I'm screenshotting that.
Wherever you decide to start, make a start. Just get on with it. Yeah, just do something. Do something today to make tomorrow better. The thoughts you do to have today and the actions you take today will, make sure they're going to make tomorrow better. And that's success. There's a definition by Earl Nightingale about success, and it's the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. The progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So that's actually, that's why you're being so successful, because you've got a worthy ideal to help people get fitter, to help the nation get fitter, to help them really continue to grow and get better. And as long as you keep doing what you're doing, which is the progressive realization of it, then you're a success. So all power to you for that, Frank. A couple more. Jace, can't wait to see the Mark and Frank show in the future. Okay, he's also targeting a triathlon next summer. Jace, get on the Fit with Frank website, and he'll help you get there. He'll absolutely get you there. And we'll finish with this point as well because it's beautiful. Exercise has been my drug of choice for my anxiety. Now, that's interesting because when I was bankrupt and in a really bad way and coming out of the disease in a negative place, I used to find myself quite angry and also quite anxious at different times. And I'd put my running shoes on and I'd go out and run for 30 minutes up to my longest training run, which was 3 hours before the first London Marathon. And I remember doing the runs and coming back after the run and actually going, what was I angry about? Because the exercise actually, by getting the oxygen into the lungs, getting the body moving, it helps with anxiety and anger. Would you agree?
Yeah, well, I wish we could prescribe it. I wish it was a bit easier for people to do, which I'm trying my best to do. Because
Do you know what? The corporate world would be so much more successful if they started work at, 10 a.m. till 6 p.m. and they gave people that first hour. When you go to Japan, they're all doing Tai Chi, all doing exercise before they start work in order that they are more productive because they're breathing in oxygen, they're getting themselves awake and in a good place. I believe that there's a place for what you do and what I do absolutely in the corporate world that can change people's lives.
I'm here. Motivation, fitness with Mark and Frank is coming.
Really? I can feel it. I can feel it, Frank. I can feel it. Last comment from Gav, just this great list, guys.
Cheers, Gavin.
Big love, mate. So listen, I'll let you go, mate. We both need to go and hopefully enjoy. I'm not enjoying that at the moment, but enjoy the second half of the football tonight. Frank, really, really grateful for you being here. You've brought a lot.
Honoured. What a come down from Fat Boy Slim, though, eh? But here we are.
No. The good thing about this is that we're all people. We're all living our lives. We're all doing good things. And we're all setting great examples and motivating other people. And that's important. Fatboy Slim does it his way. You do it your way. I do it my way. And we just put out the good energy, and that is what the world needs, I'd say, more than ever. So
yeah, no, much appreciated. Thank you. I love it. Thanks for my book. Appreciate it.
Well, that's fine. And it's, of course, the audio book is out there, of course, as well, of Life Remixed now. I'm up to 93 reviews on Amazon now. Near the magic
7 more. Come on.
I need 7 more. Frank, you do one.
I haven't done. I'm going to do. I haven't done one. There's 94.
Stick me an Amazon review up there, please, my friend.
Might do. No one does 3 stars, do they? I might do 3.
You know what?
No one does.
I've had a 3 stars. I've had a 3 stars, yeah. And I'm not happy about it. Whoever it was.
3's worse than 1, probably, Nick. It's like, what do you mean? What was that?
I'm probably tempting fate here, but I've yet to have a 1 or a 2 star. Please don't do that. I prefer 4s and 5s. Definitely 5s.
5 star, mate. 5 star. 5 star.
But no, listen, bless you, mate. Thank you for being here. Get practicing your golf because we need you on the golf course. I will be in touch because I want to talk to you more. I want to say thanks again for being here tonight. Big, massive, huge love, Frank. Please stay where you are. Thanks to everyone for watching. We really do appreciate it. You can obviously watch us back on YouTube on the catch up as well. That was Straight Talking with Fit with Frank. And if you want to find him on any of those handles, fitwithfrank.com, and of course any of the Instagram, Twitter, etc., Fit with Frank. Check him out. He's doing great work. Thanks, guys.